This into I've been like literally into. I haven't been cheating, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's good, man. I was speaking to Frypan the other day on a live, and he told me that he had like bottles of Jameson, and people want to come in and just get some Jamesons from him.
that dude doesn't even drink, man.
That's the thing. That's the funny thing, right?
All the dudes, I've got like some bottle of wine, but they're not mine though. Anyway, but
If there's not
that
yours,
shit
mine's
doesn't
them, boy.
bother me.
Mine's them,
Yeah.
mine's them. And if it's not yours, then mine's them.
Me, I don't care about these things, though.
I can't say,
You're recording on your side.
Yeah, I'm recording for both, I think. Yeah, it records for both,
Okay.
both our sides.
Okay, cool. Do you want to go in now?
Yeah, we can get into it. We can get into it. I think
Okay, cool. Let me just get the tea real quick. Hold on.
Okay, get the tea, get the tea. Network. That's like very shitty earphones.
Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah. Welcome to Who Art, man.
What up?
Just give people a young intro of who you are and what you do.
My name is Mfula. The streets know me as Frypan or Frypan or the mayor.
I like the mayor one. It's so dope.
You mess with that? Alright, cool. Let's roll with
I
that.
like the mayor. It's
the
fresh.
mayor, man.
Before
I do a couple.
Yeah, go into it.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's my name. I'm an entrepreneur. I do a lot of things, man. You know.
Yeah, you ain't gotta tell me twice.
We'll get to that.
We are gonna get into that, dog. Normally, how we do it, like obviously after you introduce yourself and letting people know that what you do and stuff. I like to give people like a young backstory of how I met the person I'm talking to, or how I know the person I'm talking to, and it's such a great story because I remember when I pulled up in Braamfontein. I think I was having a photo shoot with Frypan, right? And he told me that we should link up at your store. And I already knew the store before that because I used to see there as I was walking around in Braamfontein. I was like, yo, that's a cool concept store, man. I wonder who owns the spot. I wonder who are the guys that actually handle this thing. And when he told me that we can link up there, I was like, all right, cool. We linked up. I met you officially, you know, because I've seen you around in Braamfontein, but I didn't meet you officially. So that day I was like, okay, so this is the Frypan. This is the mayor, you know? And since that day, man, we've been very close. We've been very cool. Because after that, what happened after that was the link up of to Ricky's pop-up. The first pop-up I think that he did in Braamfontein was at the RHTC store. And you just came up to me like, yo, dude, I need somebody who has like a wide lens so they can get the big picture. And I was like, right there on the go, I was like, all right, cool, let's do this. And the big picture got, and that happened. It was such an amazing moment for the culture, you know, being part of that, just being able to be there and shoot there and stuff like that, you know. So for you, being there, I'm sure was another level, but we'll get to that. Right now, I just want to get to the history of Frypan, you know, Mr. Mfula, you know, I mean, obviously, there was some trials and errors before you started. So I just want to know, did you go to school for what you're doing currently, or was it like just a passion thing that you just got into because you believed in it so much?
It's been a bit of both, man.
Okay.
I studied, well, I just, you know, like everyone else, like most people, primary, high school, you know, the usual. Whatever. Then I went to varsity. I went to Wits University. The idea was to study. Yeah, one of those, man. It's been a long time though. So I initially wanted to study economics.
Oh, okay.
So my maths sucked, you know.
So I didn't qualify for it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the one, you know. But I qualified for my third option, which was a BA degree. It's Bachelor of Arts, you know. So I picked a couple of subjects in there. And on my first block of that, I had politics as one of my subjects. Then I got introduced to Steve Biko through I Write What I Like. And I was like, yo, I don't know what this is or what I'm going to do with this thing, but I'm sticking to it because it feels right.
This feels right.
You know?
Yeah.
It was amazing. But I took it all the way to honors level. So I studied, one of my majors was politics and international relations. Did that, did my undergrad real quick, then did my honors degree in politics. And I wrote a thesis paper, and my thesis paper was about hip hop.
Okay. Wow. That's
so
ballsy.
Yeah, that was dope, man. Like that was the best academic year of my life. Because I enjoyed it, and even marks, I was hitting the B's and the A's for the first time ever. Yeah, it's like once you write up, once you center what you do towards your passion point, it just works out. That's what I did, and it worked out quite well. And after that, I made that conscious decision because I was confident enough, because I was writing about this at school and was doing so well.
Yeah.
On the ground, I was just that kid that was everywhere. I remember I used to do was the time I did promo. From promo, I worked with agencies as an ambassador for a local brand.
I don't know if it's me. I think the audio is a bit down from.
Was it on my side?
I think, yeah, because now you're loud. I can hear you properly now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just need to be more audible. So, I did that, and I was like that kid on the ground that was everywhere, an ambassador for this and that brand. I was just there, organizing parties. Yo, man, I was everywhere. Ask Frypan, ask Cabello, because we were friends back then,
Yeah.
So I was like emceeing here, organizing this party here. I used to work at, I remember Nike offices. They used to have like these small offices called Frypan at Brown. Some people know it, some people don't.
Yeah.
MK Fresh, he used to work there, and he used to call me and was like, yo, come help me with some boxes.
Things. Yeah.
And I'll be there carrying boxes, like seeing sneakers that haven't dropped, that will be dropping in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks,
But you will see them like right there.
Yeah, because that's where Nike used to seed influencers. They used to call it seeding back then,
Yeah,
they used to
give
kicks. So I used to see who's getting what and how weeks before the actual international drop date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was amazing. And that part of my life opened me up to the possibility of what the streets can give me and what I can offer to the streets as like a young, vibrant dude who's also coming from the academic side as well. So it's politics. I'm going to practice my politics the way that makes sense to me, and the streets are a big part of my politics. And us being independent and selling our own contribution to everybody else, it's how it should be. So I started RHTC store, online store, and I took 3 brands, which was SGOD. It's now known as SGOD. It used to be called Styler Gang back then.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, the one with the dinosaur-looking shandy there.
That's it. That's it. There used to be another brand called Creative Beings.
Oh yeah,
they no longer do it now. Yeah, they were dope. Crazy quality stuff and dope perspective on streetwear, but one is a filmmaker now, the other's in the marketing space. Everybody's grown.
Still in the creative field though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they do all of our documentaries. If you see like Let's Play Outside documentaries, it's one of those dudes. He's got like he's got a production company called Uncapped, season. From then, man, I started the store online, and on the ground I used to go to markets. So that was 2013.
Damn. So I mean, you mentioned the RHTC store, right? So how did that come about? Based on, I mean, it was an online store first, right? And you saw what it can do, the ability it has to affect the kids of Braamfontein, or rather Johannesburg as a whole, creatively, and give them something that was like not in their faces constantly. Because I mean, people, when they were thinking of buying streetwear brands, they either had to holler at the person who owns it. There was never like a place where people would go to get South African brands, streetwear brands in store. So obviously you had a narrative that you wanted to push through your store. How did that come about?
I mean, firstly, there was a couple of stores, but they were not that accessible, you know?
Yeah.
And remember when I started, I was inspired by Dope Store. Do you know Dope Store?
Yeah, no Dope Store, yeah.
Dope Store used to be downtown, you know, and Scotch was killing it, man. I saw that thing on TV and I was like, yo, that dude is doing it, you know? And a couple of other brands of life used to bring in a couple of local brands and feature them every now and then, but there wasn't a space necessarily for local streetwear brands.
No. It wasn't like that though.
Yeah, you know, everyone was going for maybe 80% international brands because they make
20%, yeah, SA, yeah.
20%, you know, but I was like, yo, man, I can't afford to open accounts with international brands because I knew the money I had to have, the brick and mortar, all these formalities, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't have money, to be honest. So, but I wanted in. So I thought local brands share the same
Check your mic. Check your.
Is it good now?
Yeah. It just tends to be low a little bit sometimes.
Okay.
Now I can hear you completely. Nah, nothing.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you're good.
I'm good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So like local brands, man, they didn't have a space. I didn't have a space to do what I had to do. You know, it's just a matter of access. Young people not being able to access an international conversation around streetwear and business because they don't have, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, it doesn't make sense. And I'm smart, you know, and I'm surrounded by smart people. So we gotta have a way. So we got a way with it. So it was an online store, but it wasn't really an online store. And what I mean by that, it was like, I used to blog before that. In varsity, I used to blog.
I remember blogging in varsity days was like the thing, bro.
Oh, it was the Instagram of the day, man. Yeah. It was like, you got a blog.
It was
hard. It was harder then. It was harder because Blogspot was about, I remember a lot of people on Blogspot. Blogspot was
before
about...
Before the Tumblr got in it.
Before Tumblr, it was get your own content, edit it, and post it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you used to go get information, write about it, edit the clips, edit the videos. So it really trained us to be content people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like to produce content for the people.
Yeah, not just reblog. A Tumblr came in with the reblog and they just set the tone going forward, you know what I mean? So that taught me how to get into space, produce content, and I understood the value of content. But to get straight to answering your question, it was a space for us to just participate in a global conversation of street culture through what we create.
Not just SA brands, but the world. Talk street culture completely. It was a store, not more than clothing. It became more than just a clothing store. Yeah.
The clothing was a tool for us to make money and create an economy around what we love. But what we loved, you know, and we're young. All of us were young. We were like between the ages of like 16 to 22. I was probably the oldest, you know what I mean? I was like, let's just do have responsibilities. And we made a lot of money the first year, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't believe I used to flip so much. These guys used to hit me up, give me stock. I used to be on my bicycle. Then the online store wasn't an online store, an e-commerce store. It was a blog.
Yeah.
That I switched up to look like an online store.
Yeah.
So the comment section, I changed the names of the tabs, and that would look like an order form instead of a comment section.
Wow.
You hear me? So I flipped it, but a year later, I got like plugins and whatnot, Shopify, and got a proper e-commerce store, you know? But we just wanted to participate in a global street culture conversation. And if it wasn't for that, a lot of us, including myself, I don't think I'd be having this conversation with you right now if it wasn't for that start.
Probably, I get what you say. So when the RHTC store was now like an actual physical store in Braamfontein, were you alone getting into that, or did you have a partner? Did you have a team, a crew, or something that you went into it with?
Yeah, I mean, the store is on paper is mine. The company is mine, you know. And the RHTC RHTC is an acronym for Returning Home to Create.
Create, yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily come in the form of a store. It could be anything.
Oh, okay.
Anything.
Yeah. It's
Youthful,
a creative
you know what
store.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a creative space as a whole.
Yeah.
Could be a store today, could be a restaurant tomorrow.
Could be a pop-up posy the next day. Could be a gallery the next day, you know.
That's it. But it's all about you, us youth who don't have access, collaborating and finding a way to participate. And by so doing, what we're doing, we're going back to like the basics of just being a community and human, being able to create something and give it to the world instead of just consuming.
I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of people who are constantly giving out content in betterment of the human race than just always just consuming, or rather taking from the culture itself, but not giving something back to the culture in forms of content or creativity of some sort. You know, I'm a big fan of that. And through the RHTC.
No, I don't think I answered your questions.
Oh, okay.
Question. So I went into it alone as a owner, but along the way, so it took us about, when did we open the store? 2016. It took us about 3 years. It took us about 3 years to get there. You know, like going to markets, touring, and all of those stuff. While we were doing that, I was like attracting people who are like-minded. You know, and those people happen to own brands that I would sell at RHTC.
Yeah.
Those people would have elements that added to what the philosophy of what we were doing. And what you found was that after 3 years, we were able to like gather a team organically. We're already a team, but it was not partners within my company. It was people who owned their companies
and just believed in what you were doing, and they wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah, I believed in what they were doing too,
Vice
because
versa.
It contributed to what I was doing and made it better. So we're creating an ecosystem. For instance, Kigi does production.
Yes.
For her brand and other brands.
Yeah.
So by working with Kigi, I was able to like say, oh, X brand, you're good, but I know that you're missing some detail in what you do because the guy that's making it for you doesn't really care. Here's the person that cares, that can do it better.
Get this person who can do it better, yeah.
Then better quality product, faster rate of doing it. It gets to the customer at a faster rate too. Yeah. So we're all winning. So that's the whole idea. So everybody I worked with owned their own companies, but we just happened to make sense. So
like it was like the biggest collaboration between companies who believed and had like the same goal in a way.
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
collaborative
that was it.
Space for you guys to just help each other return home to create.
You got it, man.
Yeah, the boy also went to school. I got that eye now. So with RHTC standing now, being a place, a solid place where like people can come through, express themselves creatively, buy certain products, view other people's work, and engage with people like you, the playground came about. You know, like you guys, the event of it then came about. Like, was it something that you knew you wanted to do, or it just kind of sparked within just being around that space?
It made sense to the general philosophy as a whole, or what I had envisioned. Yeah. And I'll break it down I'll break it down what all these entities are. So there's RHTC, then there's Playground, then there's Let's Play Outside. Yeah. They all sound like the same thing, you know what I mean? They give you the same feedback.
Yeah.
Well, RHTC is the retail point in this case. It's where we sell the clothes and all the products, and it has a storefront, right?
Yeah.
Playground makes the furniture. So, I mean, if you look back at our...
Playground makes the furniture.
It makes the retail furniture. So the idea with the Playground was we went on tour before we started. We had a store. We had a physical store.
Okay.
So I teamed up with Sansa and this guy called the Computer.
Okay.
And the idea was to build in 2004, 2015, the idea was to build a mobile stall that you can put together as a puzzle within a few minutes and break it down, and it fits into a car, so I can tour anywhere in the country and sell these things. Pop up anywhere.
Anyway.
You know, and we did a tour. We did a tour in December of 2015, and what we found, and we recorded the whole thing. We have a documentary that's out on Let's Play Outside page. But we toured, and a couple of people were interested in the furniture.
Sometimes, like, yo, where do you guys get this furniture though? We see the clothes as hard, but what's going on with the furniture?
On some other level, you know? Then actually I was like, okay, mental note. I went back to computer and we discussed it. So we're like, let's open a company. Let's call it The Playground. And The Playground is a company that makes affordable, mobile, multifunctional furniture for young entrepreneurs to start selling in their neighborhoods like we did. You know what I mean? So
you guys didn't want to just have that information all to yourselves. You were like, okay, you know what? We can actually get paper out of selling this idea to anyone that wants to do what we do.
That's it. And it also grows the community. Remember, like we started as a small community and we grow it. So it's like the community can live without us as well. So if we give them the tools at an affordable price, then man, we good knowing that there's more of us out there,
out there doing what you guys want to do also, and spreading the work on a bigger scale.
That's it. You know? So the growth of that, like the immediate growth of that business, and OasisC funded the store, and that's why it was called the OasisC Playground Store. You know what I mean? So every furniture piece we used there, we made it.
Because I was about to ask you that. I was about to say, so Playground was like the design of the in-store, because I saw like a lot of furniture that you guys had in store was made out of wood and stuff like that. They had like this wood-ish feel to it. So that was Playground.
That was Playground, and wood is what we specialized in, you know? So that creates a showroom for the furniture and for the clothes at the same time, to the same target market, you know? So more brands wanted in, and we didn't have enough space, you know? It was like quite a small store.
Yeah, I remember. So, it was like a young passageway kind of vibe.
It was a nice passage, but it was dope.
It was dope, yes.
Then a lot of people wanted in, like a visual artist. You're a visual artist. You wanted in. You wanted to use the space. There were musicians who wanted to host sessions at the courtyard. So everybody wanted in, you know. So we thought, let's create something bigger and for everybody to have a function in this community.
There goes your audio. I think maybe it's where like you plug in on your PC. That's kind of missing you a little bit. Or it may just get you earphones. Can you hear me? I can hear you though.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think you had it. You had it.
Can I just?
Yeah, just go ahead though. Yeah, just go ahead, because
So yeah, man. So Playground, OasisC was the retail point. Playground, the furniture. Let's Play Outside was the festival.
Oh yes, yeah. I think I got those two mixed up.
You know, so all these things are like a progression of the entrepreneurial journey I've gone through and seeing opportunity. But what you have in all these three entities is that it's about youth development. It's about developing community in different ways.
With the skills that you guys have individually coming together and say, okay, as a team, we see ourselves doing this much for the community and the youth to up their game in a way that you guys want to see things to be better.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the community did for us. So it's only fair that we do the same. So we have more of us. It's always better when there's more of us.
When there's true. Unlike you say, I need a photographer, but you don't even know who to think of, where to go. But with that, OasisC being the store and then the playground and let's go play outside, and you know, everybody's like, oh, I know like 10 photographers. It's just a matter of just, yo, are you available, dog? Can we do this thing, you know? And then
that's it.
That set the whole you being like in the in the midst of all those three entities being, no, man, if you want something done, furniture, highlight the boys. Hey, clothing, highlight the boys. Event-wise, this is the guy to holler at. And that kind of created like such a nice vibe around you, because then you started expressing yourself, your own thoughts individually with the platform like the mayor's office. You know, I want to talk a little bit about that and how did that come about, and you know, how has it been so far? You know.
Yo, man, that was coincidental. I tell you,
I
always wanted like I always wanted a space, but it's like, you know, it's like you watch some things you enjoy and you're like, I wouldn't mind having a show like that one day.
Okay.
Because you gotta understand, I love documentaries. I'd rather watch documentaries over everything because of the information.
Yeah.
And I come from an academic background where when you study a BA degree, you read and you write. So it's research and translating research
into visuals. So
it's about storytelling. Yeah, you know, smart storytelling as well. So Touch HD, they had a new team, and it was young people who come from agencies, and they knew who I was. I didn't really know them.
Okay.
Meet up one day, like, bro, come meet us. And those people spoke about me and the things I've done in a different way from how other people do it.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't online research. They knew, so I could trust them.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you know who I am. It's not like online research.
Yeah, it's not like I don't know who this guy is. I'm just checking about him through online and stuff, and then we meet him. Yeah, they knew they were there in some places and spaces.
That's it.
Yeah.
So they were like, yo, we just want to reach to the street. We want to reach out to the street, and we'd like to give you a podcast slot in our
Touch HD.
Yeah. So I took it and I ran with it. I remember they gave me some the format of the show, like on paper. They were like, oh, this is how it's gonna go. I'm like,
you were like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
I'm like, we're gonna talk. And they're like, talk. I'm like, yeah, just talk, no segments, no, you know?
Like just people talking to other people about what's going on.
Tell you about the story. And for me, it was about, I knew that my friends are amazing. My friends on the ground who are amazing artists, creatives as a whole, are amazing. But the thing is that when they went into the broadcasting space for interviews, the formats didn't allow for them to tell their stories.
Speak out properly. Yeah,
because there's adverts in between.
That time they have more information. Like you said, they Google them. They only have like a selected amount of information to talk about before they say, okay, thank you for coming, yada, 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 peace. So you wanted to create like a platform where it's like a podcast conversation over everything.
It was that, you know.
It was, my
so I just took everything that inspired me, what was needed on the ground, and we called it the mayor's office, and it just happened. First, I had no experience.
Did you come up with that?
Me.
The name of it being the mayor's office, or like?
Oh, I came up with it because the name, the mayor, was starting to like
pick up nicely.
Like pick up in Brav, and it made sense, you know? And I was like, hey, come to the mayor's office. I mean, the mayor's office,
let's talk.
I say the mayor because I studied politics, you know, and mayor's like kind of political, but not political, because the mayor's like on the ground with the people.
He knows what the people want, but he also has like the information from the actual politics, you know, the politicians rather, and be like, all right, cool. I know what you guys want. Let me see if I can talk to these big dudes and see how we can make that happen. And you know, come to think of it, you do have that look, man. You get that, you know, that teacher game gets you like that, you know, makes you like hella political looking.
Good, man. I got this thing planned out, baby. You know,
the stars are aligning. So then the mayor's office happened. You started doing it. You had people coming through telling their stories, how you wanted them to be told, and how you giving them that platform of saying, hey guys, we have an hour for 45 minutes. tell us who you are, what you do, all that stuff, you know. And then, so did you feel like you got what you wanted from that platform? Did you feel like you've used it nicely how you wanted to use it?
Oh, totally, man. I mean, I recorded while I was with them. I recorded about, I think about 12 to 14 episodes. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that got me started with this thing, and it got it being a real thing. You know.
Yeah.
And one thing, then that ended. The arrangement ended, but going in, I always wanted to be that dude that comes to the studio, picks up the microphones and the recorder, goes out and meets Gabriel at the park or in his favorite restaurant or home, record, then come back with the recordings. I'm like, okay, you guys edit and put it out there.
Put it out there, yeah.
But it was a traditional space where it's like traditional studios, authentic.
Plus, when they were starting out, so they was still not, you know, they're not sure if being so outside the box can work for them or whatnot, you know?
Yeah. Because it was like people who were from traditional radio going into, you know, this podcast space.
Yeah, so, but still using like almost radio-ish format.
It was like the space was amazing for what it was, but it was old, and for me it wasn't inspiring. I didn't like the big studio and shit like that. I didn't like
sitting
that.
down,
you know
and
what I mean? That was not it for me. But it was dope because before you start doing new things, it's very important for you to learn the basics.
You gotta bring the flowers to the door first.
You know, so that place taught me the basics, to be honest. It was amazing. And it paid me to learn. You know, I
was like, I cut a check, I'm there.
Yeah, they paid me good, man. I was like, let me do this and invite my friends. And that after that, I decided that I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it. You know, when I started traveling last year, when I went to Ghana, I had a phone.
You went to Accra, right?
I went to Accra. So I had a phone, I had this mic that I was borrowed, Mesh, what's his name? Mesh Startup. He borrowed me this microphone that I could connect to my my phone, you know?
Yeah. So you can have better audio when you're talking to the people,
Yeah, you know, filtered audio. Then from then I was like, yo, man, this is the way I'm gonna start with this. Then it became my thing, you know. So then I went to LA, and LA I did it. In LA I used to record, edit on my phone, and post it on IGTV straight, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like everything I could do on my phone, which is amazing. I mean, I got this.
Shout out to Steve Jobs, man.
Could work on any phone, and for me, the mayor's office started to make sense in that way, where
because that's what you originally wanted. That's what you wanted. You wanted like what Scoop is doing with Catching Waves and stuff like that, where he travels, does interviews, then bring it back to SA as the content. Like, yo, this is what it's about.
But for me, it's going back to the OasisC philosophy. It's using what you have to participate in a global conversation. Podcast, as we're doing right now, is like it's a global. Everybody's doing it. It's a global conversation.
Yeah,
people are experimenting, and it's a good space to experiment because nobody's gonna say, "Oh, your shit sucks" because it buffers, because it has compromised sound.
There's like different meals for everyone. You know, everybody
we're all trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, we're all like genuinely trying to figure this out. So for me, I'm trying to always get the easiest options and the fastest options and the cheapest options, but
keeping it the dope as it is.
Yeah. So I'm always trying to find a way where this can be the only studio I need to record.
These days I think phone. If you got a good phone, you're good. You can do almost everything: video, pictures, production, all of it. You can edit, you can Photoshop, alles. Smartphones, baby. So you mentioned traveling to LA and parts of Ghana and stuff like that. So your trip to LA, how did you get to LA? You just picked up a bag, or what went down there? Because I remember you went to ComplexCon, right?
Yeah.
So what happened there?
You gotta save money. Yeah. I spent most of my money there. I'd say maybe like 80% of what I earned that year.
Wow. So it wasn't like an all-paid trip, Makandi. It's like nobody took you there.
That's not how it works, man.
You just went there on your own budget.
You have to, because you gotta do things you want to do with your own money.
Yeah.
With your own energy.
Yeah.
You know? And you'll do it the way you want to. So that's what I did. I had a couple of gigs and I got some money and I used to save hard, you know?
Yeah.
And these things were planned like 6 months in advance.
Yeah. You knew that you were going to LA for Complex Car.
I knew I was going to Ghana first.
Okay.
Because I had to start there before I go anywhere else. It was important for me to gain like an African perspective as an alternative to what we have here first before I go to another continent, you know?
Yeah.
I started in Ghana and I was a volunteer at a festival called Chalewote. It's one of the big festivals, you know? And since I'm in the event space, it was a good opportunity for me to learn from how other people are doing it.
Events outside.
Because those guys have like, how many? Something like, how many people? They got, if I'm not mistaken, they got like maybe like, like 17,000 people all around. The whole neighborhood, like the whole Jamestown is like choked, my dude. Like to get from one place to the next 50 meters, you'd spend like 20 minutes.
Just to get there,
moving
within people.
It's crazy. I've never seen anything like that. And there was a different way of a whole different culture of festival. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I learned that. Then a few months later, I went to LA. Then I hit Complex Con. From Complex Con, I watched an NBA game. Shout out to NBA Africa.
Come on now. Gotta do like a young, young D-ball situation.
Then Camp Flogno, always wanted to hit Camp Flogno.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sure Frypan was jealous as hell because he's a big fan.
Yeah, man. He wants to go. I think his plan was to go this year. I don't think that'll happen. Probably next year. Yeah, it depends, man. What happens to eventing and international travel? But
so going to LA was like obviously on your own cash. You knew you wanted to go to Complex Con, and you knew you were going there for doing your own podcast in a way. Like you knew you had to go there for fun.
It wasn't just podcast. Mainly, it's just to expose myself to new environments and new culture as a whole. LA to streetwear is just amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From 2010 till now, LA has been like American epicenter of streetwear. You know, Fairfax, Melrose. Those places, man, are really amazing. Beyond that, a new culture outside of your own is also refreshing to learn about.
It also refreshes you and inspires you to do better and more.
Yeah, so I recorded the conversations I'd meet people and I would click with, and maybe 30 minutes into the conversation, I tell them about my podcast and we start recording.
Oh, and they didn't mind it. They were like, let's do this, South African boy.
Nah, I mean, when, it first starts with like connecting with people from a human level.
Yeah.
Then the recorded conversation that people hear.
Because when they're more relaxed with you as a person.
That's it, and it's also a good way of tracing your footsteps, your feeling, how you felt at that time, and what was going through your mind at that time. So it's a nice personal memorabilia type tool. But also, it was a nice way for me to share my experiences with people who may not be able to go there yet. So, it's always a nice way to travel. For me, it's like traveling is about learning. And when you learn, you have to share.
Learn different cultures, then you share what you have learned to other people.
Yeah, plus we've got social media. The reason why I posted all of that on Instagram, I wanted you to know the people I'm speaking to. go to their page and
check what they're about. And if you want to learn more about them, then they have that platform to learn more by following them aggressively like that. Like if they have websites, they're constantly on there. If they have music dropping, they're there. Performance, they're there. Whatever they're up to, they get to know. So you wanted to just bridge that gap of like being informed about people that are within the same culture that we love, but they don't get that bright lights frequently.
Yeah, because we're the same tribe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I could click with some dude in LA and Accra because we happen to have the same perspective on streetwear, on clothing.
Yeah. On clothing, just alone.
So culture, language, barrier and whatnot gets cut because
of
me and you, we like the same shoes. That's all that matters. Let's be friends.
Yeah. We dig the same music, done. Like then we can vibe out the whole day, geek out.
That's it. That's all that matters.
That's fresh, dog. I mean, because like I'm sure that must have given you a different perspective on things, especially when you come back home and you're like, yo, either we need to do more, we need to do better, we need to do certain, like it gives you like a drive, a charge up in a way, you know, experiencing a different culture and experiencing a different place and, you know, how they deal with certain things.
You know what it did for me?
What did it do, boy?
It showed me how dope we already are.
Shit.
Like South Africans, hi, Baba.
That's too much.
South Africa, top tier, my nigga. And I'll tell you why.
Doing this.
Because it's only when you go to another place, it could be another city or another province or another country.
Yeah.
It's when you realize that, some people are doing exactly what you do in their own way. So yours is to show them how you do it in your hood. From dancing. So man, like you gotta learn your own dances to go that side, because when you get to the dance floor, you're not gonna impress them with your own with their own shit.
With their old stuff. Nah, you can't do the nay up in there.
Yours, and they're like, yo.
What is this now?
And I tell you this, man, the biggest currency I had, one thing that made me get away with a lot of things, get free products, free, man, let's get a lot of free, especially in both places, Accra and LA. I used to get a lot of people giving me shit for free because one, it's the accent, it's different.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah.
So there's fascination, then it's your name.
Oof.
You know?
So you introduce yourself as like Mpumelelo.
Yeah.
And they had to say that shit. They were like, yo, okay, how do you say that? You're like, yeah.
You know, but that's the main thing. The difference is the value.
The fact that you are different is the value. That's the dope code. I'm going to use that.
Embracing your difference is your value when you get out of home. Just like at home, whatever.
You look like everybody else. You sound like everybody. You know.
Yeah, it's like whatever, man. But your difference is truly your authentic difference. Your authentic difference is your true value when you go anywhere in the world. So when I came back, I actually realized how important it was to develop myself more as a South African, within a South African identity, within a Black identity. You know what I mean? To understand more of myself, more of my community.
Yeah.
So when I'm there, I have something to give. And what I'm going to give is authentically who I am and what my community is about.
True. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I'm like, you know, when I go through like all these different websites, especially with your Hype Beast and your High Snowy Cheese and these other websites that deal with like creativity and stuff like that, I was looking at the stuff, I'm like, but when I look at this stuff, the only difference is these people drop constantly. Like we are doing the same thing, they just drop constantly. They are constantly on the content being out there. You know, I mean, we have photographers, they're doing dope stuff, yes. So what's what's stopping me from doing the same thing or even showing off what South Africa is about on an international scale? And I think that's why most artists, they're starting to give them that that heads up or like, we see you, because they cannot create what they can create on a South African narrative or an African narrative, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like telling my friend, I'm like, man, I think the difference between us and them is that